Hello, and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us tonight, or today, whatever time you might be watching this, for all four
For
in
NAWT not. We will probably
We'll
never
work
get
on
that
it.
together. We'll
No,
probably never get that right, but hey, it's the effort that counts.
I
So,
mean, yeah. I mean, if you
so
watch
we
Taste Buds on No Press podcast on YouTube, they probably did that for like a year before they were on sync doing it.
there you go. So we are here tonight, or whenever you watch this. This is pre-recorded, so leave your comments below as you watch. Let us know what your thoughts are on Raw and NXT. We're going to review Raw and NXT in about 25 minutes. So we'll go ahead and I guess let's kick it off with Raw. NXT is still actually going as we're recording this. So Mako and Roxanne are getting ready to start their match on Roadblock. So let's see, Raw.
We'll start off by talking about King and Queen of the Ring. It's back.
You want to? It is back. It is back, and it's going to be in Saudi, which is whatever.
And
So here's my thing. And maybe I'm a complete idiot. Maybe it's sensory overload. I don't know. If it were me and I was in charge of WWE and I had 2 nights of WrestleMania, I would have the men's King of the Ring tournament and the women's Queen of the Ring tournament, one on each night. And I'd do Money in the Bank on one night, men's Money in the Bank, and female and women's Money in the Bank on one night. So and then and then have the main event matches, a couple of singles matches, or whatever your main event matches are. But I'd have both of those on main event or on WrestleMania to make WrestleMania even more of a spectacle.
I feel like having Money in the Bank as a pay-per-view is good for business, though.
Yeah, I don't like it as a pay per view. I think it's better off when it's just on WrestleMania or when it's on another show. But it is what it is. That's why I don't get paid the big bucks to make those decisions. So
Like, the thing is, though, is even with WrestleMania being 2 nights, it's still, like, got a lot of stuff on it.
it is. It does. It does. It does. It definitely does. So yeah. So we're gonna get King and Queen in the ring. I did notice. Did you notice before you jump into Raw that both Queen Zelina and King Woods had chippy
Mm.
things on Twitter to say about the fact that they weren't. Neither of them was included in the. First of all, how do you have a video package for Queen of the Ring when you've only had one and she's not in it? What the fuck are we doing? Like, I mean, maybe it doesn't make any sense to not have King Woods in it, but at least you have other King of the Rings that are justifiably in a video package. You don't have any other Queens of the Ring, like none, zero. If there's a video
I,
package, she should be the whole video package.
I keep on hearing people say that Vince is back, and every week I'm like, he really might be. He really
Yeah.
might be.
Yeah, I was thinking to my God, I don't think he was ever really gone. I mean, I think he was gone, but even when he was gone, I'm convinced he was on the phone with Triple H every day. I'm convinced that they still talk in whatever capacity every day. Triple H is still running shit by him. I don't believe that Vince ever is giving up control or gave up control. So, all right, so let's jump into Raw. So Raw started with uh, Heyman, or I guess a segment of Heyman talking about how tonight was Solo's chance to solve the KO problem and Jay's time to solve or Jimmy's time to solve the Sami Zayn problem. So, and those were the
Mm-hmm.
two matches basically lined up for the night. Opening the show was Solo and KO, which again was a good match. The match is less important
Ended in a DQ.
than the angle afterwards. I mean, I thought that Sikoa and Kevin Owens had good chemistry, and they worked well for as long as they were able to actually have a match. Um, and then obviously Solo was disqualified when Jimmy got involved, um, and mayhem ensued, which is really the whole point, just to further the bloodline story. Got anything you want to say about Solo and KO? The first segment.
Um, I really know.
Okay. Then we had Bobby demands
Well,
Brave faces him like a man
we had a
backstage.
backstage segment with Sammy and KO.
Oh, that's right. You're correct. That's right.
They work together, but KO's not doing it.
Yeah, Sammy was like, we don't have to be friends. We can just work together to take out the bloodline, and KO is not into it. I think eventually KO is going to come around, and we're going to get that. Obviously, it's just a matter of time.
I feel like a number of men have had that conversation in the workplace.
Yeah.
We ain't got to be friends. We just got to work together. All right.
We just got to work together. We just got to get along to destroy this mutual enemy. Let's see. Then the next match was Bianca versus Carmella with Chelsea Green. Bianca won this match with the KOD. I guess this is more about the angle as well because Asuka came out and to try to.
The first match and the second match both ended by somebody else coming in for the save.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, this I suppose is to further the Asuka Bianca match for WrestleMania since there's no background or tension. They're trying to create some tension. Asuka tried to spray the mist in Bianca's face or Carmella's face. Wait, let's see. She tried to blow it in. I'm trying to remember now. Was it in Bianca's face and it missed, or did it miss someone else's face and land in Bianca's face? You remember? I know she blew the mist and hit somebody.
On Bianca. I think that's how it went.
Okay.
But Lashley, that promo he cut, did you like it?
I thought it was okay. I mean, I'm not a huge Lashley. First of all, I'm not a huge Lashley fan, which I know is going to sound terrible. I mean, I think he's a good wrestler. I think he looks the part. I don't think he's the best talker in the world, and that wasn't the greatest promo. But, it's okay. I mean, it's okay for Lashley, but, Lashley for me is a little bit down here just on the promo bar. I mean,
next up on the docket, we got The Miz in a much better segment than he did last week.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I thought, these three are in, and then you get Logan Paul and Seth Rollins, on Miz TV. The three of these douchebags act like douchebags. It's all, I mean, I guess I enjoyed it for what it is. I mean, I'm always fairly anti-celebrity match, but for whatever reason, Logan Paul, even though I can't stand him, I'm less irritated with him being involved because at least he can get the job done in the ring, as opposed to some other guys that have been in the ring that are terrible.
Just let Logan be who he is, and the fans will act accordingly.
Yeah. But no, I thought this was a better segment than last week, and yeah, I mean it's moving to hype the match between Paul and Rollins at WrestleMania. Let's see. Where are my notes? What do we get next? Yeah, I'm trying to find my notes here.
Oh, Logan Paul stood tall at the end, by the way.
Yes.
In case nobody was aware. Logan was the one who went over in the segment. But up next, we had Omos and Ziggler. And the match was probably my favorite Omos match.
I mean, you can literally count the Omos matches like singles matches on 3 fingers of one hand. So I guess it's not hard to say that this is the best Omos match. Yeah, I mean, it was basically a squash. I mean, I feel bad for Dolph because in theory, Dolph Ziggler deserves better than being squashed by Almost at this point. But at the same time, I guess it makes Almost look good because he's squashed some pretty good wrestlers. So, yeah, I mean, this is what it was. This was... I don't even really want to call it a match. I mean, this is really an Almost exhibition, and they're trying to hype Almost.
Ali is what really made it for me, though.
Oh yeah,
shout out to Mustafa Ali.
No doubt. Let's see. Then what else? Let Let me look here at my notes. Then we had what? Shane. What happened? Was it
Gargano.
Shayna versus? Huh?
I don't have Shayna in my notes at all. Shayna was on the show.
Yeah, she wrestled Tegan Knox, right?
Wasn't that SmackDown?
I don't think so. Was it?
I
No,
thought that was SmackDown.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure that was
I
Pretty sure
got
that was
nothing in my notes
SmackDown.
here for Raw. Okay.
The next thing I know was Gargano versus Finn Balor.
Huh. Okay. Well, why don't I have? That's weird. Okay. Yeah, Gargano versus Finn Balor. I like both of these guys. I mean, I've never been like necessarily the biggest Johnny Gargano fan, but I can appreciate that he's a good wrestler. What's going on here with my? I can appreciate
I'll
that
get to
he is a good
Gargano later.
wrestler.
We're going to bring Gargano up later, so I'll talk about Gargano then. We probably need to move it along. We had Piper Niven versus Nikki. That was quick. Match was meh. Moving on. Boogs booked Elias in a match against Bronson Reed next week.
Yep.
I'm hoping that should be good. I like Elias. There's other people who don't like Elias. I like Elias.
I kind of like the way Rick Boogs took what Elias wanted him to do and turned it back on Elias. I kind of like that little play there. How he was supposed to go over and get the match with Jonah, but he actually set up Elias for the match. So that was funny.
That Boogs is a meathead, but he has a good heart.
Yeah.
That gets over with me. That's a good character. We don't have enough meatheads, that actually act like meatheads.
Okay. Yeah. And then
the closest we have is like, oh yeah, C Nation.
C Nation is back in full effect. Him and Austin Theory were in the middle of the ring having a promo battle, if you can call it that. Everywhere I see on the internet is saying that Cena buried Theory and that it was too much. I don't know. I didn't get that feeling afterwards, but I guess it is what it is. I mean, to be fair, Cena's one of the better promos in the history of WWE. So if you don't really bring your A game, you're gonna look bad anyhow. You know what I mean? Like,
harder than he went to Roman Reigns, because it didn't feel any harder than he had gone on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I think
the problem is that Theory isn't Roman Reigns, and so people are worried about Theory because of it.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, they think, you can say stuff about Roman that you can't say about Theory because Roman's more over, but I didn't see an issue with it. Then what? Then we had Chad Gable and Baron Corbin.
Well, I had a couple more notes. Cena at Mania versus Theory. What will this prove? Which I had that in my notes because Theory prove the theory. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the only way this works
Cena
is if Theory wins.
Gives Cody Cody came out and Cena gave Cody a pop. The crowd popped for Cody coming up.
Yeah, I mean, the only way this works is if Theory wins. I mean, Cena doesn't need a win over Austin Theory and a non-existent run with the title. I mean, obviously Austin Theory wins and goes over here. I mean, he's got to. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
But we had Corbin and Triple M and Double A backstage.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
The Maximum and Alpha Academy for the acronym people out there.
Right. No. Yeah. No, I mean, it is what it is. I like both groups. I think they're fun. You got to have some.
That was probably the best we've seen of Corbin in like 2 months.
Yeah, you got to have some levity, it makes your wrestling, and this is definitely comedy stuff. And it's, it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst, so I'm okay with it. Let's see. Then we actually had a match between Gable and Corbin, which it was what it was. It was a match. Then we can move on, I guess, to Trish Stratus
and the man and the other ladies.
and the man and the other ladies. Yeah, I mean, the crowd was definitely over for Trish. You know, Damage Control
Sammy
won.
versus Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean,
You're still going.
I was just gonna say, Damage Control won. There isn't really a whole bunch to say about this. I guess we can just kind of move on. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not overly interested. It's not moving the needle a whole lot for me. Yeah, Sammy defeats Jimmy. Jay turns heel. I guess. I guess he was always a heel. I don't know.
Jay doing since the beginning. Jay did what he has been doing since he was feuding with Roman. Jay protected Jimmy. Because if Jay doesn't fall in line, it's Jimmy's ass.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. 100%. So this match was far less about the match than it was about the post-match angle. I thought they did it well. It's another bloodline angle done really well. I don't know why, but I actually for a half a second thought that Jay was really going to side with Sammy when he hugged him, and then they had their hands up, and then when he super kicked him, I was like, oh, really? And I guess I should have known that was going to happen because really, there's no way that he was going to side with Sammy. But the emotional part of me wanted him to side with Sammy. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But no, I mean, I thought the show ended well. I thought that it was a good, Raw for leading up to WrestleMania. I mean, it's.
I thought it would have been neat having the Usos versus Sammy and Jay, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then you'd either have Jimmy or Jay being the longest reigning tag team champion of all time, but it would just be the one of them. It wouldn't be both of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, that could have been fun, too. But no, I mean, ultimately, this is leading up to Owens and Zayn, obviously, are going to come together at some point, and it'll be them versus the Usos for the tag team titles. I'm assuming. Since you won't let Sammy beat Roman.
But clearly it's a work. So we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was a little worried about that, but it did. Yeah. So
because, they would shut off the camera and stop airing this if it was legit. They wouldn't keep it rolling.
So before we switch from Raw to NXT Roadblock that just ended, why don't you rate the show out of 10? This week's Raw out of 10. What do you give it?
6.5 for Raw, a 5 if you count everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I was thinking about 6.5, somewhere around there. I would say a solid 6 is fair. What was your match of the show, or segment of the show? What was your favorite part of the show?
I'm gonna go with Jay and Sammy. That bit at the end.
Yeah.
I thought that was nicely done. Beautiful storytelling. That's the thing we're going to see more of, weeks to come. They're going to be showing that clip.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that was the match of the night for Raw. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Segment by itself there at the end.
Yeah.
Because that's what the whole match was for that ending segment.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, just like the Solo Sikoa KO match was for the beginning segment. I mean, and even the Damage Control was or not Damage Control, but the Asuka segment was, that match was even for WrestleMania build. It was more for the backstory than it was for the match itself. So, anything else you want to say about Raw before we move on to NXT Roadblock?
Nope.
All right, so
Talk with Tiff.
Talk with Tiff. Yes, I like Tiff. I think she's funny. I know a lot of people don't like her. I don't have a problem with her. I think she
has the look, and she has a character we're pretty well familiar with. She'll grow on me. I'm not a fan, but she'll grow on me.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's probably in line to be the next, big woman up that gets a push. She has the look. She's got, the skill set. She can talk and all those things. So she has all the things that WWE likes in women. So she's tall, she's blonde, she's pretty. She hits all those boxes. She can talk. She can actually wrestle a little bit. So
especially if Vince is going to be in charge again.
yeah, no doubt. So let's see. Opening roadblock, we had Tony D'Angelo versus Dijak in a New York street fight jail cell match, is what they called it, I think. Where the winner had to put
So
the
what I had was when Tony D refused to shut the cage because Stax was in there with him.
Mhm.
I had written in my notes, Tony D sacrifices victory for family. But then when we got to the finish of the match, I had Stax then sacrifices himself for Tony to win.
Yes. Yeah. No, I thought the moment with when Stax sacrificed himself at the end was kind of funny. This was a good match. Both these guys were good wrestlers. I put this out of 5, like a 3.5 out of 5. They had some really big spots. I thought the Dijak spot off of the top rope onto Tony D'Angelo on the table was a cool spot. Yeah, I mean it was a solid match for a bigger than weekly NXT show. I mean, by Roadblock, this is not a pay-per-view, but it's a amped up weekly show. So, yeah, I thought this
I'll
was
be
a
real,
good
if it
opening
wasn't
match.
for the main event that just happened, I probably would have given that match of the night.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Then we had let's see, moving on. We had a Briggs segment again, which I don't really care about. Then we had Gallus. Go ahead.
I didn't have the Briggs segment written down. I had a Roxy backstage interview.
Oh, well, I don't know. Clearly, my notes must be fucked up. I don't know what was going on. I have a Briggs segment, then I have Gallus promo in the ring.
I have Gallus and PD make their entrance.
Yep.
Kiana and Briggs talk.
Okay.
Is Kiana seeing someone else? Is it Fallon? Question mark. Because I didn't know what they were trying to do with that.
Yeah.
And then I have Gallus and PD talk and briefly brawl in the ring. All right, now we're on the same part.
Yeah, so I mean the Gallus promo. I'm a huge Gallus fan, but I thought Pretty Deadly came off much better. Gallus, you can't. Their accents are so thick you can't understand what they're saying half the time. And two, they're kind of bland, honestly. Like I really like them as wrestlers, and they look the part, but on the mic they're not very. They don't move the needle. And Pretty Deadly on the mic is great. So, I thought that even though I'm a huge Gallus fan, I thought Pretty Deadly definitely won the promo battle here, if that's what you want to call it.
Oddly enough, I have no problem with the accent.
Yeah.
Like, there's only a couple accents I have trouble understanding, like a Creole accent and like inner city St. Louis, which is near where I live. So those are the ones I struggle the most with.
Yeah, I hear you. So anything else you want to say about that? Those two are going to wrestle each other for that. I mean, Gallus is going to put the belts on the line. Is that? I'm not sure. That's going to be Stand and Deliver. It'll be Gallus and Pretty Deadly at Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend, which will be the next.
Should be a good match.
Big NXT event. Yeah, it should be a good match.
Yeah, for Gallus, but it should be a good match.
Then we had a promo from Lyra.
Valkyria?
Right? Yeah, Lyra Valkyria, who I'm not overly familiar with.
She wants the title, though.
She wants the title, though. I mean, she looks smart. She acts like she's got background with both of them, so we'll see where it goes. Then we got the Creeds and Braun versus
Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov.
So the Creeds and Braun came down to the ring, and then they went to commercial. Oh. Then they came back and had the Ilya promo, and then went to commercial, and then they came back and came down to the ring. Oh, yeah. And then JD McDonough.
Dragon Lee in the NXT arena.
Yes. All of that in the same time. And then we get to the Braun. I guess the match actually starts. It was an okay match. I mean, I like the Creeds. I'm always so on Braun. What's his name is huge. Songa, I guess, is a huge fucker. I like Veer and Songa. I hate Jinder. Fuck Jinder. Jinder can go away. But I don't mind Veer and Songa.
You can't talk bad about Jinder. People are gonna come after us now. Message
That's what
below in the chat. Comment below how much you like Jinder Mahal and how we should treat him better. Go ahead. Comment
or you
below.
could, or the comments of Alan are mine only. They don't represent Workhorse Wrestling Network. They might love Jinder. I'm cool. Then what? Then we got the Grayson Waller effect and HBK. It was an
Well,
okay
the match
segment.
ended with a Brutus Ball, right?
Say that
Brutus
again?
Ball, that's the name for it,
Yep.
right? Yeah, Brutus Ball. Yeah.
Yep.
So Grayson Waller and HBK.
Grayson Waller and HBK. It was what it was. I mean, it's it was kind of funny. I guess it's I'm. Let me just say that I'm happy that Johnny Gargano is wrestling and not HBK. Even though I'm a huge HBK fan, and I'd love to see him wrestle again. I don't need to see it. And against Grayson Waller, I guess I really don't.
Let me take this part. Okay, so the cheers for HBK were very loud, but Gargano comes out, and in my notes I have Gargano versus Waller at Stand and Deliver, 3 exclamation points. Get his ass, Johnny, exclamation point. Johnny Wrestling, 3 exclamation points.
Yeah. No, I mean, not much more can be said. Then we got what? JC Jane and Gigi Dolan. The implosion of
All I had was JC versus GG. GG wins. That's all I wrote down.
Yeah, I'd put good match. JC's better. Glad they're split. So I wasn't overly impressed with Gigi's kind of whiny heel or face promo the other day. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with her. Then we had the Schism versus Chase U, which was really Joe Gacy versus Andre Chase.
Briggs and Jensen backstage.
Oh yes. More Briggs and Jensen as the soap opera turns, as the NXT turns. Yeah. You want to say something about
Chase U backstage for Tyler Bate.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Love me some Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate's cool.
I do. I like Tyler Bate. I'm a Tyler Bate fan. And then I guess that led into the Schism and the Chase U match, which was
Mello and Braun are on like Donkey Kong.
Yep. And then honestly, that's where my notes ended because I think I don't know why I stopped writing there. So yeah, have to tell me what happened.
We got a couple minutes left. I'll take over from here. So Schism Tree went over Chase U.
Right.
KLR, Kaylee Ray, does Black Magic with Isla Dawn on the tag division. So
that's right.
Good luck, tag division. You got some Black Magic heading your way. Chase U is in shambles, it seems. There was a lot of disruption in the backstage, interfighting between each other about losing too much. We had a Wesley interview, and Wesley delivered a solid interview, and Axiom came in and challenged for the North American title, which, why not?
Should be really good.
Like,
why not? Both guys can really go. Both guys can really wrestle. I mean, it should be a really good match. I'm here for that.
All right, now we can talk about the main event. Roxanne Perez. Like, holy shit. Give her like 6 months and she's going to be my top 5 favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, I'll be totally honest with you because we came in here a little bit early, right as the main event was starting. I was talking to you and we started doing this, so I didn't get to see a whole lot of it. I'm going to have to go back and watch the main event. I did see that it looks like she won, and whatchamacallit went out on a stretcher. But like you said, good thing that was a work, it looks like, at the end. So that's good. Yeah, I mean, I like Roxanne Perez. I think she's a really good wrestler. You want to make some more comments about it before we wrap this up real quick?
Match of the night, MVP Roxanne.
Again, I guess I'll say that. I haven't really watched it, so it's hard to say that. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else that was really on match of the night. There wasn't really much other wrestling on whatchamacallit. So thanks for joining us here on All for NawT, where we talk about Raw and NXT. We will see you next week. Peace.